So in the last video we had discussed that how part 5 of the Indian Constitution is divided into 5 chapters, that is executive, parliament, legislative powers of the president, the union judiciary and controller and auditor general of India. And we had also discussed a shortcut trick to remember these 5 points. From today we will start discussing about the articles of part 5. So hello everyone, my name is Priya and I welcome you all back to my channel Pictolearning. I hope you all are doing great. The executive. In simple terms, executives are the people responsible for running the government and implementing laws and policies. They include the president, the vice president, the prime minister, the council of ministers and other officials who assist in governing the country. These executives carry out various functions like making decisions, managing administrative tasks, and representing the government both nationally and internationally. The executive chapter of part 5 contain articles from 52 to article 78. In today's video, we will discuss article 52, 53 and 54 in detail. So let's begin. Article 52 of the Indian Constitution talks about the President of India. This article says that there shall be a President of India. That's it. In simple words, Article 52 of the Indian Constitution says that India must have a leader called the President. The President is also known as the head of the state and who is also called the first citizen of India. The president is a very important person who helps to lead and represent the whole country. Just like your school has a principal to take care of important things, India has a president to take care of important matters for the country. Next is Article 53. This article talks about executive power of the union. First of all, try to understand that what is this executive power after all. See, there are mainly 3 types of powers in the Indian Constitution: legislative power, executive power and judicial power. Purpose of legislature is law formation. Purpose of executive is to implement laws. And the purpose of judiciary is to punish all those who do not obey the law. Under legislative power comes Parliament of India and state legislature with their respective houses. Under executive power comes President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Chief Ministers, etc. And under judicial power comes Supreme Court of India, High Courts, Subordinate Courts, etc. Now in this article, that is Article 53, we are going to talk about this executive power. Now see, Article 53 contains 3 clauses and the third clause is further divided into 2 subclauses. Let's see what these clauses say. Article 53 clause 1 says that the executive power of the union shall be vested in the president and shall be exercised by him either directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with this constitution. In simple words, Article 53 clause 1 says that the President of India has the power to make sure that the laws of the country are followed and the government runs smoothly. This power is called executive power. See, here it is written, the executive power of the union shall be vested in the president. Now it also says that the president can use this power in 2 ways, either directly or through others. Directly means the president can make decisions and take actions by himself. Through others mean the president can also have other people called officers who help the president by making decisions and taking actions on the president's behalf. Now Article 53 clause 2 says that without prejudice to the generality of the foregoing provision, the supreme command of the defence forces of the union shall be vested in the president and the exercise thereof shall be regulated by law. In simple words, this clause wants to say that the President of India is in charge of the military forces of the country, like the Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force, etc. However, the way the President uses this power must follow certain rules and laws. This means that while the President is the leader of the defense forces, he has to act according to what is written in the laws made by the government. Okay? Now, Article 53, Clause 3, Subclause A says that nothing in this article shall be deemed to transfer to the President any functions conferred by any existing law on the government of any state or other authority. See, this clause means to say that even though the President has a lot of powers and responsibilities, if any duties given to state governments or any authorities under any existing laws will not be taken over by the President. In simple words, it means that if a law says that a state government or any authority has to do something, the President won't take over that job. The state government or that authority will keep doing what the law tells them to do. Okay? Article 53 Clause 3 Subclause B says that nothing in this article shall prevent Parliament from conferring by law functions on authorities other than the President. Now, this clause means to say that even though the President has many important responsibilities, Parliament has the power to give certain responsibilities or tasks to other authorities or officials, not just the President. Even if there are certain functions that typically belong to the President, Parliament can decide through a law to assign those functions to someone else. For example, the Prime Minister, governors of states, and judges in the courts are some of the authorities that help the President in running the country. This means that the President doesn't have to do everything alone and can share the work with others. Now, moving to our next article, that is Article 54. Article 54 talks about election of President. It says that the President shall be elected by the members of an electoral college consisting of the elected members of both houses of Parliament and the elected members of legislative assemblies of the states. Now, before understanding this article in detail, let us understand one important thing. See, the members of both the houses of Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, and the members of both the houses of state legislature, that is Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council, are mainly divided into two categories: elected members and nominated members. That means in Lok Sabha there are some elected members and nominated members. Similarly, in Raj Sabha there are some elected members and some nominated members. And in the same way, in the State Legislative Assembly and the State Legislative Council also, there are some elected members and nominated members. Now in Article 54 and Article 55, we will be talking about these elected members. That's why we discussed this point. Now let's understand Article 54 in simple words. Article 54 explains how the President of India is elected. It says that the President is not elected directly by the people. Instead, the President is elected by a group of people, which include the elected members of Parliament from both the houses, that is Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha, and the elected members of legislative assemblies from the states, including the elected members of Delhi and Puducherry. This group of elected MPs and MLAs is called Electoral College, who come together to vote and choose the President. That means, while choosing the President, only the elected members of Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha, Legislative Assembly and the Union Territory of Delhi and Puducherry have been given the power. The nominated members do not participate in the election of President, and along with the nominated members of all the houses, the members of the State Legislative Council also do not participate in the election of President. Okay? Now here you can see a small explanation at the end of this article. Here it is written, in this article, that is Article 54, and in Article 55, state includes the National Capital Territory of Delhi and the Union Territory of Puducherry. What does this mean? This means that for choosing the President, out of 8 union territories, the elected members from Delhi and Puducherry get to be part of the special group called the Electoral College, just like the elected members from all the other states. So Delhi and Puducherry are treated like states for this purpose. Now your question will be, why only Delhi and Puducherry? Why not other union territories participate in the election of President? The reason is, Delhi and Puducherry are special areas that have their own elected members. just like other states do. These elected members can vote to choose the president. Other union territories do not have this kind of elected members. They are controlled directly by the central government, so they are not included in the election of president. So that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video with next few articles of part 5 of the Indian Constitution. Until then, thank you so much for watching and supporting Picto Learning.